Hi there and welcome back to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where today I will be teaching you, yes you, Algebra 1. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at our final exercise in this entire chapter, which is a puzzle to sum up this entire unit. And it says, complete the puzzle below by factoring each polynomial. Once you have factored the polynomial, find the matching factorization in the answer bank. Okay, down here, here's our answer bank. And then place the word in the corresponding box to decipher the hidden message. So it starts about did you hear about, and we have to figure out what the rest of this message is. So let's begin. In box A, we're going to factor trinomial A. So we have x squared plus 3x minus 4. So that's a normal trinomial, and when I say normal, I mean it has an a term that's equal to 1. There's no GCF, and it's not a difference of two perfect squares. So I'm going to go ahead and use my factoring rules that say what two numbers multiply to -4 and combine to get +3. And you should have thought of +4 and -1. 4 times -1 is -4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I'm going to go down to my answer bank now and look for x plus 4 times x minus 1. X plus 4 times x minus 1 right here. Right here, I've used that one. I could cross it off. And I'm going to put the word the. So, the. Did you hear about the? Okay. Part B. Part B. 3x squared plus 8x plus 5. And we want to factor this. I don't see a GCF. It's not a difference of two squares, so I'm going to have to use that AC method over here. And a times c is going to be 15, and our b term is going to be 8. So what two numbers multiply to 15 and add to 8? You guessed it, +5 and +3. So I'm going to go ahead and factor this as 3x and 3x, and I know it's +5 and +3. And are either of these parentheses divisible by 3 when I use my AC method? And yes, this one is divisible by 3. So I'm going to divide that one by 3, and I'll be left with 3x plus 5. I'm going to be left with 3x plus 5. I'm just going to move this up so I have room for my word. 3x plus 5 times 3x divided by 3 is x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I have 3x plus 5 times x plus 1. 3x plus 5 times x plus 1. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the word that's going in this blank right here is fire. Let's look at trinomial C. 2x squared minus x minus 6. I don't see a GCF. My a term is greater than 1, so I'm going to be using that AC method again. So a times c gives me -12. And my b term is -1. Two numbers that multiply to -12 and combine to get -1. If you need more time, pause the video. Otherwise, the answer is -4 and +3. -4 times 3 is -12. -4 plus 3 is -1. So I'm going to go ahead and open up two sets of parentheses. I'll start one off with my a term, 2x and 2x. And now I'm going to put in my factors of -4 and +3. Now, are one of these parentheses divisible by 2, since that's my a term? And my answer is yes, this one is divisible by 2. So when I divide this by 2, I get 2x divided by 2 is x. -4 divided by 2 is -2 times 2x plus 3. So I'm left with this factorization right here. And I look for that at the bottom, x minus 2, 2x plus 3, x minus 2, 2x plus 3 right here. I'm going to cross that one out. I'm going to go up here and write at. Okay. And I go on to trinomial D. 6x squared plus 5x minus 4. And There's no GCF, not a difference of two squares, but a is greater than 1, so I'm going to be using my AC method again. 6 times -4 is -24, and I have a 5 when I have my b term. What two numbers multiply to -24 and add to 5? Pause the video if you need more time. Otherwise, we're going to go on with 8 and -3. 8 times -3 is definitely -24. 8 minus 3 is +5. I'm going to start off each parenthesis with a 6x with my AC method. And I'm going to have +8 and -3. Now, are either of these parentheses divisible by 6? The answer is no. So what two numbers multiply to 6, I ask myself? 3 and 2. Is one of these parentheses divisible by 2 and one divisible by 3? And yes, this one is divisible by 2, this one by 3. And when we divide by 2 and then by 3, that's the same thing as dividing one of them by 6. So we have 6x divided by 2 is 3x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6x divided by 3 is 2x. And -3 divided by 3 is -1. So I'm looking for 3x plus 4 and 2x minus 1. 3x plus 4 and 2x minus 1 right here. That's the word the. So I'm going to go up here and write the. Okay. And I'll go to trinomial E, which is x squared minus 12x plus 36. X squared minus 12x plus 36. And this is a trinomial where a is equal to 1. So I'll just put an x in the front because x times x is x squared. And I look for two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to -12. Pause the video if you need more time. And that's -6 and -6 because -6 times -6 is +36. -6 minus 6 is -12. And remember, we could rewrite that as x minus 6 squared since both factors are exactly the same. Let's see which one we have down there. X minus 6 squared. Oh, there it is. And our word is circus with a question mark. Okay, let's look at trinomial F. Getting there. X to the third plus 2x squared plus x. X to the third plus 2x squared plus x right there. Is there a GCF? There is a GCF. Our GCF is x. So when I divide an x out of all of these terms, I'm left with x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now I have a trinomial where a is equal to 1. So I'm going to be using those rules that say to start off each parenthesis with x because x times x is x squared. And what two numbers multiply to 1 and add to 2? Well, it's going to be 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And again, I can rewrite this since I have two factors that are exactly the same right here as x plus 1 squared. So I'm looking for x times x plus 1 squared. Oh, right there. There it is. X times x plus 1 squared. And that word is it. So that's going to be it. Let's go to polynomial G. 3x to the third plus 2x squared minus x. Is there a GCF there? And my answer is yes, there is a GCF. The GCF is going to be x, which means I will divide an x out of all of these terms up here. And I will be left with, I'll move that x down so it doesn't get too squished in. And I'll be left with 3x squared. 2x squared divided by x is 2x. Negative x divided by x is -1. Now I have a trinomial where a is greater than 1. So I'm going to have to use that AC method. A times c is -3. My b term is 2. What multiplies to -3 and adds or combines to 2? And that's going to be 3 and -1. 3 times -1 is -3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off each parenthesis with a 3x. And I know my factors now are +3 and -1 from right here. And my final step of the AC method is to divide one of these parentheses by my a term, which is 3. So this one is divisible by 3. And I have x times 3x divided by 3 is x. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3x minus 1 is brought down. I'm looking for my choice that says x times x plus 1 times 3x minus 1. Oh, right there. The word is was. So I'm going to write it off to the side right here. And I go to my last two. I go to polynomial h, 2x squared minus 34x minus 36. And I have a GCF here. So I'm going to start off by factoring out my GCF. So I divide all of these terms by 2. And what will be left over, 2x squared divided by 2 is, just x squared. Negative 34x divided by 2 is negative 17x, and negative 36 divided by 2 is negative 18. So what two numbers will multiply to negative 18 and add to negative 17? Let's start off each with x, because x times x gives me that x squared. And I'm going to do 18 and 1. Negative 18 plus 1 will give me negative 17, and negative 18 times 1 is definitely negative 18. So is this a choice? Oh, yes, it is right there. 2 times x minus 18 times x plus 1. So that word is in. And we have one final polynomial to factor. That's I, 3x squared minus 24x minus 60. Let's just check and see if I got that right. Yes, I did. And I want to factor this. I have a GCF, which is 3. So I'm going to divide each of these terms by 3 to see what remains inside the parentheses. I'm left with x squared. Negative 24x divided by 3 is negative 8x. And negative 60 divided by 3 is negative 20. So now I have x squared minus 8x minus 20. That's a polynomial where a is equal to 1. So I'm going to factor it by putting an x and an x, because x times x is x squared. What two numbers multiply to 20 and add to negative 8? Pause the video if you need more time. Otherwise, it's going to be 10 and 2. Negative 10 plus 2 will be negative 8. Negative 10 times 2 will be negative 20. Is this a choice? Nope, not right there, not right there. Here it is. And that's going to be the word tense. So let's go back and read our hidden message now. And it says, did you hear about the fire at the circus? It was intense. You get it? Like intense? Well, it's not funny if you have to explain a joke. So I'll just read it one more time. Did you hear about the fire at the circus? It was intense. But all right. That's all for this video. And I hope that this video is helpful in factoring and choosing the best method to factor different trinomials. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. You're now ready to move on to Chapter 9. Thank you for watching.